everybody, how's it going? I have field cultivator in the shop right now, putting new sweeps on it. We have been running John Deere sweeps for years. We don't get the acres out of them that we feel we should. We get about, I don't know, 200 to 300 acres out of these sweeps, and then they're junk. And I'm sick of it. I was tired of it. We contacted a company here in Michigan called Richmond Brothers Equipment out of Bayport, Michigan. And because we heard good things about them, we heard that they were getting acreage out of their points for chisel plows, field cultivators, and what have you. And I thought, you know what? Let's give them a call. Let's see how much they are, how long they last, that kind of thing. Just so happens when we called, I was looking for a knock-on sweep, or knock-off sweep, sorry. And they said they didn't have any, but they had a prototype coming out. So I got to talking with the gentleman there for a little bit, and come to find out, they allowed us the privilege of testing out their prototypes for them. And right now I am currently putting them on. We have to change everything. We got to change the brackets, the spring clips, just to use these shovels. I'm quite impressed with just the beefiness of them so far. I have a brand new John Deere shovel that we had sitting on sweep that we had sitting on the shelf, and I currently have not quite half of these on our machine, but I'm going to show you the difference between the two. Look at that. They're the same size. The difference is the Richmond Brothers sweep is double the thickness of this John Deere sweep. They also have a ridge on the right up the center of them that I feel is going to really make the wear last longer on them. Just looking at them so far, I'm impressed with them. Like I said, I don't know, I haven't used them in the field yet, but overall, I'm quite impressed with them so far. I mean, you can just see the beefiness of them. I mean, you can't argue with that. I mean, just look at the thickness of them. So, once these get on, we're going to put them through their paces out in the field and see what we think of it. I want to show you guys the spring clip system that Richmond Brothers have. This is all it is. Let me get in the light here. It's just a little clip just like this. It even says up on it. And once your bracket is onto your shank, you just clip it on like this. That's it. The shovels are actually easy to go on also. They give you a tool. They gave me this handy little tool to take them on and off with. Okay? You put the point on there, bang it on with a hammer. But you don't need it. I have found the easiest way to do it is slide your shovel onto your shank, and you just give it a wiggle while you're going like that, while you're pushing it on, and you'll hear it click. Done. It's on there. I am, however, going to take this in the field once all the new shovels are on, and I'm gonna run it in the field, you know, just a little bit, just to make sure those shovels are pushed on correctly before I take it down the road. Because, I mean, let's be honest, I've had them, John Deere ones, rattle off going down the road because I didn't do that initial push them on. So it happens. Lesson learned. So I'm going to do that in the little field behind the barn here after I get them all on, just to make sure they're pushed on right, and then should be good to go. All right, guys, we are out in the field. We are unfolded. We're about ready to drop this thing in the ground and see how these new shovels work. This one shovel right here, this one, that's a John Deere shovel. So I'm going to keep one brand spanking new John Deere shovel on there next to these, and we're going to see how they rate. This field that I'm getting ready to do is, I think, 25 acres. So I'm going to run this, and we're going to pull it out of the ground when I'm done and measure them and see where they're at. They started out at 7 inches. Let's see if we get any wear on them. Well, so far I'm impressed with them. You can, this is disc ground, disc with a rolling harrow behind the disc, right here. And then I'll show you right behind these new shovels. This is the job it's doing. And then behind the packer, because we're pulling a packer as well, you get this. I think it's doing a fair job. I'm actually impressed with them so far. One thing I have noticed with these shovels is they pull just a little bit harder. And I guess I kind of should expect that because of the extra material that they've used. They're a lot thicker shovel than what the standard John Deere one is. So it's a lot more steel you're dragging through the ground. But they don't pull as hard as you would think. They pull, it's hard to explain. I know it's pulling harder than just if I had all John Deere points on there. Other than that, I'm very impressed with them so far. We'll see what we're like at the end of the year. Okay, guys, give you a quick update. So far this season, I've gotten 410 acres on this machine with these points on it. Some of that ground has been chisel plowed disc hit with the field cultivator. Some of that ground has been disc hit with the field cultivator. And then there's been some grounds that I wanted to try these out, so I didn't work the ground at all. It's been hard packed over the winter. I sunk the thing in the ground and pulled her 7 miles an hour and put her through the paces. I am impressed with the Richmond Brothers points. We will continue buying them. In fact, we're actually going to buy their chisel plow points now. I do want to show you this. Keep in mind this is 410 acres, but it's 410 hard acres, because some of that ground that was hard packed over the winter and we didn't work it at all, just ran the field cultivator in it, was solid clay. So some areas was like working up concrete. 410 acres in, this is the John Deere point. Now, in the same row, not on a tire track or anything else, This is a Richmond Brother point. Now let me grab the tape measure and we'll measure them. You guys remember, it was 7 inches across when we started. So we're going to go to this same point. It's still pretty close to 7 inches. It is exactly 6 and 7/8. But that is a point on the outside wing, doesn't fall in a tire track or nothing else. So now, just to prove to you guys that these are decent shovels, we're going to go to one of the points on the inside of the machine that runs in the tractor tracks as well as the field cultivator tracks, and we will see where they are at wear-wise. Okay, I crawled my fat can underneath here. As you can see, tractor tracks, front track, dual tire, right here is directly behind all of those tires. So we'll see what this tape measure says. Seven and 7/8. That's pretty good wear considering it went through 1, 2, 3, 4 tires. 4 tires worth of ground compaction. It's still at 6 and 7/8 compared to the John Deere one that's out on a wing that doesn't get in a track at all. It's just in the dirt. To be honest with you, I don't know what else I can do to prove to you guys that these Richmond Brother points are worth the money. They're only $5 to $8 difference between the John Deere points and the Richmond Brother points. Don't quote me on it, but roughly. And you're going to get twice the amount of acres out of them. That's a no-brainer to me. Now granted, me being impressed with them isn't that big of a deal. I'm just an idiot that walks around with a camera and I babble into a camera all day long while I'm doing this stuff. So, I mean, you can take it how you will, but look them up. You won't be disappointed. There, got rid of that John Deere junk. Let's run some acres now. I'm not gonna lie, if Richmond Brothers says, hey, we want to sponsor your stupid little YouTube channel, I'd probably let them. I'm impressed with their product, that's for sure. Now, there have been claims of people getting 2, 3, 4, even 5,000 acres, I've heard, out of points. In my opinion, there's way too many variables there to determine how many acres you should get out of a point. Like right now, we're pulling deep, we're pulling fast. I'm pulling at 7.3 miles an hour right now, and I'm pulling deep. And I'm in hard clay ground. And you see how dusty it is back there. It is dry. A lot of people, they pull them slower, they pull them shallower, and they'll pull them in sandier, softer soils. That type of variable equation, yeah, they could probably get a fair amount of acres out of those points. They probably really can. They probably get a lot out of there. But my situation, the way I do things, the way we're pulling them in and everything, I'm guessing, and this is just a guess, I'm going to get 1,200 acres out of those points. And that's the high side. I honestly, firmly believe at about 900 acres, I'm probably going to be looking at changing those. But 2 years ago, when I was running all John Deere points, I was getting about 300 acres out of them and changing them. So it's a big improvement. And for them to make a point that would last me 5,000 acres, that thing would be so big, so heavy, I don't think I got the horsepower to pull it. Just my opinion. Okay, we are all in, all done. This is parked for the year. And we got 826 total acres on these points. And we're going to throw a tape measure on them right now. They are showing some wear. I mean, significant wear. You can see the wear there. So, but they are still they're still at 6 inches. And some of them are worn more than others. Of course, in the tire tracks, you know they're going to be worn more. Like this one was not in a tire track at all. So there are a couple that I probably will change before next year. But for the most part, I don't have to change them all. Probably halfway through next year, I'll be changing the ones that I don't change next spring. But overall, I'm very satisfied with these points, sweeps, shovels, whatever you want to call them in your part of the world. I'm very impressed with these. So check them out. Richmond Brothers Equipment. They're in Michigan, Bayport, Michigan, I believe. They're worth the money. Thanks for watching.